Okay. Hey, folks. Oh, there we go. That's Pam. She's sneaking in. Welcome. Glad you could be here. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're getting all the cameras set up now, so that's what happens. If you're wondering what's going on behind the scenes, John is getting my cameras set up. And we have to use several cameras because we stream on so many different platforms. So once John gives me the thumbs up, we can kind of get rocking here. And there's the thumbs up. Okay. So if you're new to the show, welcome. If you're a regular, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to talk for 24 minutes. You, whatever platform you're on, can ask any question you have on healthcare. Just type it in your platform. John, my producer behind the camera there, is then going to read me your questions. I don't know who you are. I'm not going to use your name. So whatever your question is, put it in there. John's going to read it to me. I'll answer it. And then we'll do another 24 minutes. And then John will ask me more questions that you put in there. So this is an amazing opportunity to get your questions answered because everybody's got health questions and most people don't know where to turn. I want to be your doctor. I want to be the person to help you. So I'm ready to go whenever you are, John. So we got clocks and everything set up. So ready? Okay, here we go. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. I am glad you're with me today, as I am every time we're together, because this is part of my favorite time of the week, just spending time with you guys. We're going to talk today about nutrients that your body needs as you age, because things are different. If you're young, you don't know what I'm saying. But as you get older, different things happen. My IT guy was just telling me that he sneezed the other day and his elbow hurt. You know, I said, yeah, welcome to my world. So it does happen. Things change, and that's okay. It's perfectly normal. But what do we do about it? You know, I said to my IT guy, I said, let's put some laser. We use something called cold laser. We'll put some laser on his elbow to bring down the inflammation of the ligaments, whatever he damaged, and it should be fine. But most people don't know that. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he went to a surgeon, and the surgeon was talking about what we can do to reduce the pain. And he said to the surgeon, what can I do to fix the problem? I don't want to reduce the pain. I want to fix the problem. And that's a different world. This is my world. What do you do to fix the problem? Their world is what can we do to reduce the pain? Both are right. Neither one is wrong, but I feel you have to put the two together. Just this morning, I was talking to a friend of mine out in California, and he's got a spinal tumor. And it's not cancer, but it puts pressure on his spinal cord, and it's actually leaking blood into his spinal cord. It's a very, very rare condition. And the iron builds up in his spinal cord, and it can't get out. There's no way to break down iron, and there's no way to detoxify the iron. And so he was talking about how important it is for him when he's in a lot of pain, he needs to take medication. Then the body calms down, then he's able to restore function again, and then the pain is under control. So when you're in pain, as you get older, it's one of the big things, is I understand. We want to get that pain under control as quickly as possible so that the body has the capability to heal. If you're constantly in pain, you're in this warning mode, and your body doesn't have that opportunity to get well. And so that's why I like to work so closely with my colleagues in the health world to try to get the body healthy as quickly as possible. And that's why they send me so many patients saying, Dr. Joe, let's work together on this. I got a call. In fact, I got a text right before I came on the air today, and it's from one of the former Braves, and he was a all-star, and he won the World Series. And he says, hey, Doc, when you have 5 minutes, give me a call. Because everybody's got health questions. Okay, he's got access to the finest health care in the world, in theory, and he texts me and says, hey, I got a question for you. So that's why I try to get to the cause of your health care problems, not just treat the symptoms, and that's why I want to be your doctor. So we're going to talk today about nutrients that you need as you age, because your body changes. I was talking to a patient last week, and she said her stomach, she isn't absorbing B12 properly. She had her blood test done, and her B12 was low. And I said, okay, you vegan? Because if you're vegan, you got to supplement with B12. And she said, no, I'm not. And I said, okay. And she eats a great diet. She's thin. She's in great shape. And she's not absorbing B12 like she used to because there's a chemical in your stomach called intrinsic factor. An intrinsic factor with the acid in your stomach allows you to absorb B12. Well, as you get older, your intrinsic factor drops. You don't absorb B12 like you used to. And then I said, what B12 supplement you taking? Methylcobalamin or cyanocobalamin? Well, it's cyanocobalamin. Well, that's the one that a lot of people can't absorb. So that's why I feel like Sherlock Holmes when it comes to healthcare. I'm going to look at all the clues and what can we do to get to the cause. So things do change as you get older. That's okay. Now we just have to shift a little bit. What do we have to do differently than we did in our 20s? One of the big questions I get is about calcium. Dr. Joe, I'm getting older. I'm afraid I'm going to get osteoporosis. I need to take more calcium. Everything is correct except the last part of that sentence. You probably don't need to take more calcium. In fact, in my career of 40 years, I've never known anyone to ever reverse osteoporosis or osteopenia, which is the early stage of osteoporosis, by taking calcium. It's never happened in my career. And yet, that's the go-to supplement. Bones are made out of calcium. Your bones are getting thinner. Take more calcium. But here's the thing with calcium. I look at it like you're making bread or you're making a cake. There's a lot of different ingredients. The main one is flour when you're making a cake. Let's say bread, okay? There's other ingredients too, and nothing works unless all the ingredients are there. So I can't add more flour to my cake or my bread and expect it to work. I have to have yeast. I have to have sugar to feed the yeast. I have to have enzymes if I want to make sourdough bread. And I have to have all the ingredients. If I'm making a cake, baking powder, baking soda, depending which one you're doing. And you have to have all the ingredients to make it work. And a hint of vanilla. And a touch of salt. And if that hint of vanilla and touch of salt isn't there, along with the baking powder, it's not going to rise. It's not going to work. But I have all the flour. I understand that. But you're not going to make it unless you have everything. And that's what I liken to bones. Bones are mostly calcium. But you need boron, selenium, vitamin D3, vitamin K2. You need so many different ingredients to make that bone work. So most people don't need more calcium. They need the minor ingredients, and they need less acid. What do I mean by that? When you put acid in your body, the body has to neutralize that acid. The body uses calcium as its primary neutralizing agent. So if you're eating alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, acid foods, your body has to neutralize that acid. The body will take calcium from the blood, from the muscles, and ultimately from the bones into the blood system to neutralize that acid. Because if that acid gets too high, it's literally going to eat holes in your blood vessels. That's a real simplified version of it. A little more complicated than that. And so your body's going to give up its calcium to neutralize the acid. So instead of taking more calcium, what if we took less acid? It's a novel approach, isn't it? And it works very well. And the reason I know it works well is because I've been doing this for a long time, and I can have patients that have osteoporosis, that might have clogged arteries. I'll get to that in a second. And that's calcium buildup. And I get them on a proper diet. I get them on the proper supplements. And they'll come back 6 months, a year later, get a test done, and it's better. It's improving. I shouldn't say it's all better, but it's improving. And I get the question all the time. Why didn't anybody else tell me this? How come my doctors never explained this to me? And my answer is, I don't know. Well, I do know. I lied. I know because most doctors are not trained in nutrition. Most doctors are not trained on how to fix bones out of place, pinch nerves, how to fix the digestive system to make it work normally again, how to rebuild the good bacteria in your colon, what foods to eat to stimulate GLP-1, which is the chemical that all these new injectable drugs are to help you lose weight, how to stimulate your own natural GLP-1s. There are certain foods that'll do that. And I've studied biochemistry, nutrition, neurology for 40 years, more than 40 years, 45 years. And I still learn new things every day. But I'm not a surgeon. Surgeons are studying surgery. Gynecologists are studying gynecology. Neurologists are studying neurology, but they're not putting it all together. That's where we come in. That's why so many doctors from all around the world will call me on a daily basis to say, hey, I got a question. What do we do about this? And I'm happy to answer. Pulled up to my parking lot the other day, got out of my car. A patient pulled up in her car next to me. She goes, are you with a patient right now? I said, I'm in the parking lot. And this is a friend, not a friend. She's been a patient for like 30 years. And she goes, you with a patient? I said, I'm in the parking lot. No. And so she said, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah, come back in the office. So there are days I can't even get into the office when questions are being asked. And I love that. So we don't need more calcium. We need less acid. Calcium helps your muscles, your nerves, your blood vessels all work right. If you take too much, you're going to lose it. So where can we get calcium from? We can get it from calcium supplements, but most calcium supplements, calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is junk. I call it junk calcium. It's really cheap. It doesn't work very well. It clogs up your receptor sites. You can't absorb the good stuff. Not my favorite calcium. But you can get calcium from almonds, seeds, tofu, broccoli, beans, nuts, lentils, figs, plums, apricots, okra, just to name a few. What does that sound like? That sounds like the same diet I've been teaching you for the past 40 years. It sounds like the Mediterranean diet. It sounds like the Mind diet. Diets that have been double-blind studied and proven to help the body heal better. It sounds like Dr. Ornish's research. Dr. Ornish did the research on reversing heart disease. And in many cases, he found that eating a plant-based diet can certainly slow down, stop, and in many cases, reverse heart disease. Now, Dr. Ornish just did a new study on Alzheimer's and found the same thing. So it's exactly what I've been teaching you. It's exactly what all the experts are agreeing upon. Now, the experts I trust. I don't agree with the high-protein diets. I don't agree with the carnivore diets because I see the research that's contrary to that. And I understand the research into one, like I said, the Mediterranean diet, mostly fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, about 10%, a little bit of meat, a little bit of dairy products, a little bit of alcohol. I wish you wouldn't do that, but that's okay. And that's what's so cool, is that we have the research. We know what works. Now, if there's something that can help reverse the number one killer of people in the world, heart disease, why isn't that taught throughout healthcare? Why doesn't every doctor know the number one thing that can reverse the number one killer? That's a rhetorical question. I don't know that answer. I know the answer. I mean, I teach my patients that. So we have one diet that seems to work great for heart disease, great for diabetes, great for brain function, great for Alzheimer's, great for osteoporosis, great for digestion, great for anti-aging, great for sexual function, great for digestion, great for skin health. It's the same thing. And I don't understand why everybody argues with it. So bottom line with calcium is you don't need more calcium. If you're eating a good fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seed plant-based diet, the chances are you don't need any more calcium. If you do need calcium, which I've never seen necessary, you don't want to do calcium carbonate. So please, don't do that. And if you don't know what to eat, go to my website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com, and type in the search bar, so what can I eat? Or what can I eat? Either one works. And it's going to bring you to a talk that I did. It's about 45 minutes long, maybe. And we talk about what does a good diet look like? What is breakfast, lunches, dinner, snacks? What if I have a party? What if I'm raising kids? What if it's Christmas? How do I shop? What do I have in my pantry? What do I got to get out of my pantry? What do I got to put in my pantry? It's so simple. It's so easy, and it's so much less expensive than anything you're doing right now. And if you go to my website and type it in, the cost for that, which really doesn't have a value to it, it's so invaluable, is absolutely free. drjoe.com, so what can I eat? And the website, by the way, has over 4,000 hours of content, and we keep rebuilding it and rebuilding it. In fact, I hired somebody to do my rebuild, and they wanted like tens of thousands of dollars, and we find somebody who was more reasonable. And when we told him what it was, he goes, how many blogs? 700? Oh, my God. He goes, we can do it. Don't worry about it. So the website's constantly being rebuilt because there's so much information on there. We're trying to make it more user-friendly. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking about nutrients your body needs as you get older. I kind of brushed on B vitamins, specifically B12, but B12 helps make blood and nerve cells. You can get it from animal products, but that's not my favorite source. Why does it come from animal products? When bacteria eat the flesh of the animal, as the obviously dead, it spits out B12. So this is one of the things that you have to be concerned with when you go more plant-based, is getting enough B12. I take Dr. Joe's B complex. It has vitamin B12 in it, and the B12 form that's in there is what's called a methylated form. Easy to absorb. Depending on a study you read, 40 to 80% of people can't utilize things like cyanocobalamin. Cyano is cyanide, cobalamin is B12. Cyanocobalamin, but they can use methylcobalamin. So why not just take a methylcobalamin supplement? If you're one of the people that can convert cyano into methyl, great. If you can't, take that one anyway. And that's my approach. Keep it simple. So I take Dr. Joe's B complex every day. You should too, by the way, because we pee out all our B vitamins, not all of them, but we pee out our B vitamins every day except for B12. That's the one we store. But you don't need a whole lot, but you need some. So you can get it. Many times they fortify the foods, and they say, get your B12 from fortified cereal. It's usually cyanocobalamin. It's not methylcobalamin. So even though you're getting enough, it's the type. Can you utilize it is the key. If you're taking things like acid reflux medication, antacids, certain medications, that can slow down or prevent a lot of the absorption of the B12. So if you are taking those medications, another reason you should take it. But once again, if you're taking medication, my thought process is, why are you taking the medication? And is there anything that you can do to get your body well enough so you don't need the medication? I'm not against medication. Absolutely. I'm board certified in pain management. I'm very well versed in dealing with pain and getting it under control. Like I said, you got to get the pain under control in many cases before the body can heal. And we have technology, we have science, we have medicine, we have injections. Utilize that, but also get to the cause of the problem. And that's the novel approach that we do. For example, pain. We can take, how many people take pain medication every day? Raise your hands. A lot of you do. You're taking those pain medications to cover up the pain, but what are you doing to help the body heal? At least change your diet. At least take Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, omega-3 fatty acids to bring down inflammation, B-complex, vitamin D. Vitamin D helps absorb calcium into the blood system. Vitamin K2 takes it from the blood system and brings it into the bones. If you're taking D3 without K2, chances are you're doing damage. You're building up too much calcium in the heart and the blood vessels. D3 with K2, absolutely wonderful. Very inexpensive. I always say D3 with K2 is the cheapest insurance policy you're ever going to buy. It really is just that simple. So you want to make sure you're taking, again, the minimum supplements I would say Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Essential Source is prebiotics, probiotics, multivitamin, all methylated. Super Greens helps detoxify the liver, gives you iron, calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, not vitamin D, I'm sorry. Neutralizes the body because it has a lot of minerals in it. It neutralizes the acid, and it has iodine. Most of us don't get enough iodine in our diet. So I take a scoop of Super Greens and Essential Source. I add 10 drops of Dr. Joe's D3 with K2. Then I take a B-complex. I also take nitric oxide because nitric oxide opens up my blood vessels. Had a patient the other day. She said, well, Dr. Joe, I have plenty of energy. I don't need nitric oxide. I said, no. Nitric oxide helps increase circulation to your heart, your brain, your sex organs, your liver, your kidneys. Oh, I always thought it was just for energy. No, that's a byproduct of it. She goes, oh, okay, I'll get back on it again. So if you have any questions, you could always send them through my website, drjoe.com, and I'm happy to answer them because I know this gets a little complicated. I understand that, but I want to be your doctor, and I want to help you get well. When it comes to pain, because a lot of you are on pain medications, I know that, and medications can prevent you from absorbing a lot of nutrients, but I want to get you off the medication, if possible, by getting you well. I don't want you to stop your medication. I want to get you well enough so that you can come off the medication. Whether it's high blood pressure, diabetes, pain management, whatever it is. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. But let's do everything we can to try to do that. So if you have pain, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, sciatica, headaches, raise your hands. How many people have that? I don't know anybody who doesn't have some pain. And I've been in practice a long time, myself included. Make an appointment to come see us. Chiropractic care, most effective, least expensive treatment for back pain. And it's not just backs. How about feet, elbows, knees, shoulders? We can do chiropractic care to realign the joints. We can do acoustic wave therapy that sends really, really fast impulses into the joint, breaks up scar tissue, increases circulation, and recruits stem cells into the area. If the joint is deteriorating, specifically the shoulder and the knee, we can do PRP, which is platelet-rich plasma. We take your blood, take out the growth factors, and re-inject it back into the joints in addition to the acoustic wave. I find that acoustic wave with the PRP is very effective. PRP, as you get older, without the acoustic wave, not so much. So that's why we do PRP with acoustic wave. We have cold laser. Cold laser sends laser beams into an area and gets the mitochondria generating electricity. I've had people with constipation. We put it on their stomach, 10 minutes, they're in the bathroom. I've had people with headaches, bring the inflammation down. There's so many, probably 500 protocols that I can think of using a cold laser. Then we do nutrition on every patient. So if you're serious, if you got pain, if nothing else pain, but if you want to do a whole wellness protocol or just pain, go to my website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. In the Atlanta area, I have offices Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. You can book an appointment right now. Normally, the first visit is $940. We've reduced that for you, my listeners, to $299. Exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays, and a complete nutrition evaluation. Why do we do that? We do that to find out what's going to be the best source of treatment for you. It's chiropractic, orthopedics, neurology, I don't know, therapy, I don't know. Let's do the protocol. Let's do the nutrition workup. We'll give you our recommendations. We accept almost all insurances. Medicare, Medicaid doesn't cover it, unfortunately, in Georgia, which I think is silly. Hopefully that's going to change. Car accidents, sports injuries. I teach other doctors, lawyers, and insurance companies how to deal with car accidents. So I really want to be your doctor. In fact, if you work for an insurance company, if you work for a big company, call me. We actually have programs specifically designed for companies, wellness programs that can help hopefully lower your cost of insurance and workers' comp. Why wouldn't you do that? So drjoe.com, book your appointments right now. Send me your questions through the website. Happy to answer them. Follow me on social media, Dr. Joe Esposito, Facebook, the Dr. Joe Esposito. If you're a podcast junkie, which so many people are, I am too, Dr. Joe for the health of it. Dr. Joe for the health of it. You can have Dr. Joe all day, every day. Can't get enough Dr. Joe, people say. So follow me. Any questions, drjoe.com. But the best thing you can do is make an appointment. That's really going to be the best thing you can do. Vitamin D3 with K2. Again, we have a supplement, D3 with K2. It's on the website, drjoe.com. They work very well together. They don't work very well if you just take the D3. So please don't take D3 without K2. So we talked about calcium. You don't need more calcium. You need less acid. B12, Dr. Joe's B-complex, methylated form. Take it every day. You're going to pee out most of it. B12, you're going to store a little bit. And vitamin D3, you got to make sure it's a D3 with K2. Now, you can get it from the sun, but you got to be out 20 to 30 minutes a day, 3 or 4 times a week in the summer. Like in the winter, I don't care how much you're out there, you're not getting enough UVB rays to interact with the cholesterol in your body that converts into D3. And here's the thing. If you're on cholesterol medication, you may not have enough cholesterol to convert into D3. So, another twist there. So, if you're just tuning in, we're talking today about nutrients that your body needs as you get older. And there are a lot of nutrients your body needs as you get older. That's why I don't think supplements are a luxury. I think they're a necessity. There was a time, maybe if we lived on a farm, we ate a lot of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, we were outside all day, we exercised, we drank pure water. The meat and dairy products we ate weren't conventional. They didn't have steroids, chemicals, hormones, antibiotics, genetically modified food, glyphosate. None of that existed. Maybe you didn't need supplements. I don't live in that world. I eat a really good diet. I fast at least 12 hours a day, usually 14 hours a day. I exercise. I keep my brain sharp. But I take supplements every day, and I think you should too. Omega-3 fatty acids. If you're vegan, of course, you should take an omega-3 fatty acid supplement. You can take an algae, which is the one I take. It's an algae oil. It's on the website, drjoe.com. And if you're a meat eater, they say, well, I get my omega-3 fatty acids from eating meat. That's true. However, when you cook the meat, those omega-3 fatty acids aren't very stable. So when you heat it, you can destroy a lot of the omega-3 fatty acids. Same thing with salmon. Oh, I eat salmon. Well, if it's wild caught, it'll probably have omega-3s. If it's farm raised, it probably doesn't have hardly any omega-3s. And then when you cook it, you can destroy a lot of them anyway. You see how many little nuances and twists there are? If you're looking for optimum health. If you're looking to just survive, keep doing what you're doing. You're surviving, obviously. But if you want to thrive, slow down that aging process, feel better. Again, no guarantees it's all going to happen, but I see it happen in my life. I see it happen in my patient's life. I want you to experience that too. I want you to experience optimum health. Imagine waking up and being able to get out of bed without grunting and groaning. Imagine having energy. Imagine going to the bathroom normally. Imagine your sex life getting better, your brain thinking clearer. What would that all be like? That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Well, it happens every day without patience. No promises, no guarantees, but this is the protocol I use every day. And as the protocols change over the years, it changes, I change with it. If I find out something that's better, newer, cleaner, cheaper, I'm going to let you know. But as of right now, this is the protocol that works best, and it hasn't changed in decades. So drjoe.com, great website, by the way. Get the supplements there, book your appointment, send me questions, search the website, spend time with me. Podcast, Dr. Joe for the health of it. I want you to just sign up for it. Listen when you can. I've had people listen to every one of our thousands of hours that we have on our website and on the podcast. And they say, it changes my life. Dr. Joe, why isn't everyone doing this? It's so simple. It's so logical. It's so inexpensive. And the rhetorical question is, I don't know why I don't know. You can, because you're here, and that's what I care about. All right, so more supplements we're going to need. We're going to look at vitamin B6. It helps fight germs. It helps your energy levels. It helps baby's brain grow. Studies have found links to B6 levels in seniors. The higher it is, the better the memory is. The vitamin doesn't improve mental abilities in people with dementia, but that's cleaning out the arteries and increasing the circulation with things like nitric oxide. Not saying it's a cure for dementia, but we want to increase the circulation. So Super Green Central Source B-complex, vitamin D, nitric oxide, omega-3 fatty acids. There's so many different supplements, and if you send me an email with a specific issue, I can give you what I might recommend. Again, it's not a prescription based on what you tell me, but the best thing to do is make an appointment. Go to the website, drjoe.com, book an appointment to come see us. Bring your friends, bring your family, and bring your children. Because if kids start out healthy, they usually are healthy. If they don't start out healthy, they're going to have a much harder time as an adult. Folks, I got to go to break. Don't go anywhere. What's the website again? Say it with me, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. We'll be right back. All right. One page of 14 pages that I have here. We just got not even one. I'm not even done with the first page. So we have questions, John?
Which nutrients are needed to help healing bones when someone has had back surgery? X-rays also show some degeneration. I was thinking omega-3s, turmeric, piperine, D3 with K2, boron, and trace minerals.
Okay, I'm okay with that. That's good, but you also have to change your diet. Because I don't care how good the supplements are. If you're putting junk in, supplements aren't going to solve the problem. They may help, but yeah, I have countless patients with back surgery. I would say every 15 minutes we're seeing a patient that's had back surgery in our offices, I'm guessing. So Super Green's an essential source, of course. That's the minimum supplements. That's going to give you boron. It's going to give you magnesium, your zinc, your selenium. So Super Green's an essential source. The vitamin D3, absolutely. And you got to cut out those the things that are sucking calcium out of the bones. The alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas. I call them the 7 deadly sins of nutrition. I've added to it. But alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener are the big 7. And that's on the website, drjoe.com. Just type in 7 deadly sins. The degeneration is mechanical. If bones are out of alignment, they rub up against each other and they wear out. And that's called osteoarthritis, disc degeneration, disc disease. It's not a disease. I don't know why we call it that. But if the bones are out of place, rubbing up against each other, you got to put the bones back in place. And that's why a lot of surgeons will send me patients before the surgery. They'll do the surgery, and then they'll send them to me after the surgery so the body heals faster. And here's the benefit to the patient, to the surgeons. Surgeons, they keep a record of surgery, and they see what your success rate is, the insurance companies. And so if you have a high success rate, you're going to get reimbursed better. Going to not have as many problems with the insurance companies. So the surgeons are like, wait a minute, this is great. So you're not going to steal my patient. No, I'm not going to steal your patient. Let's get them well going into it, well coming out of it. Patients win, surgeons win, nobody loses, and insurance companies save money. So that's why you want to do that. But I would say, again, what we talked about, Super Green Essential Source, B-complex nitric oxide to increase circulation, the D3 with K2, and all the other small ones you said are going to be in the essential source. So do that. And you go to my website and type in bone health. We did a whole show on that. What else?
Which foods form GLP-1?
We did a whole show on this one, actually, but I'll give you a preview. The way it works is you eat food. Goes into your stomach breaks it down, passes into the small intestine. The L cells are in the lower part of your small intestine. And the L cells, letter L, release GLP-1. The problem is the standard American diet, alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener, are digested in the upper part of the digestive system. So the food never quite makes it to the L cells in the lower part, so it never activates the release of GLP-1. So you have to eat high fiber foods that digest slowly. And what would that be? Nuts, seeds, beans, lentils, split peas. Now, fruits digest pretty quickly, but you need them in your diet anyway. But when you're eating legumes and nuts and beans, and they work their way very slowly through your digestive system down to the lower part, that'll activate the L cells. So that's why people that live the longest and usually have the lowest weight are eating a plant-based diet with a lot of things like beans and lentils and split peas, nuts, seeds. So that a little bit goes a long way when it comes to that. I make soup in the winter once a week at least. And a whole pot of soup, I have a pressure cooker, one pot or whatever it is, probably cost me, all organic, maybe $6. And I'll get easily six meals out of that. $1 a meal, slow digestion. And the problem is if you eat beans every day, your body grows new bacteria to help break down the beans and helps prevent the gas. If you only eat it periodically, you're going to get a lot of gas. So those are the foods that are going to give the GLP-1 stimulants, if you will. And I'm going to do a whole show on it. Steel-cut oats is going to do it. Quinoa is going to do it. So there's other things as well. But I'll do a whole show on it for you. But that's like a little tease for you. So what else you got?
Do you have any home remedies for a rotator cuff injury?
Yes. well, not home remedies. It depends how bad the tear is. Cold laser and acoustic wave therapy and chiropractic care. Those are the three that you have to have, whether you're going to have surgery or not. Because you want to realign everything, get the circulation going, get the nutrients coming in that area, nitric oxide, of course, for circulation. But if we can do realignment, acoustic wave, and depending how bad it is, the cold laser, along with the nutritional protocol, in many cases, we've prevented surgery. So we're not going to grow a whole new rotator cuff, but in many cases, we can prevent the surgery. So you need to come see us for that one. There's no home remedy for that one. What else?
Can you do a show on microplastic accumulation, including the effects on infants?
Didn't I do that already? Yeah, I did one, how many weeks ago? A couple months ago, maybe, yes. Go to the website, drjoe.com, search microplastic, maybe? Okay, search microplastic. We did one already. Yeah, hopefully that'll answer your questions.
What is a fractionated lipid panel, and should I get one?
Yes, because it breaks down the fats, the cholesterol, the LDL, the HDLs, the VLDLs, and it breaks it down. There's other ones too. Small a, I can't think of it. And yeah, so it gives you a breakdown. But here's the thing. Let's assume you have your fractionated panel done, and it comes up with something wrong. As we say in New Jersey, what are you going to do about it? What happens when you find out that your VLDLs and LDLs are high and your HDLs are low? The doctors don't give you a whole lot except, well, let's put you on some medication. So if you go to my website, drjoe.com, you can type in cholesterol, and we did a whole show on cholesterol. And it kind of breaks down what to do, what is cholesterol, why it's not bad. Cholesterol is so important for sex hormone function, brain function. We see an increase in Alzheimer's on people that are on statin drugs because you need cholesterol for brain function. So what we want to do is stabilize the cholesterol so it's not too crazy high, but it's not just the cholesterol, it's the oxidized cholesterol. Are we testing for homocysteine? Homocysteine is an amino acid that essentially scratches the artery walls and makes the cholesterol stick to the artery walls. Are we checking our A1C, which measures inflammation in the body? So a lipid panel by itself is good, but you need to know what you're going to do with it once you find it. So if you have it and there's an issue, bring it in to me. We'll sit down and talk about it. So, but make sure you get your homocysteine and your A1C tested as well.
I have digestive issues and I can't eat beans, potatoes, and quinoa.
Okay. So what do? We try to heal the digestive system. And in many cases, the stomach is pushed up into the diaphragm, so the problem is physical. Had a patient just the other day, and it took 2 pages of notes. My Dr. Amy Hall, my clinic director, took 2 pages of notes on this patient. She comes in my office. She goes, you got a job ahead of you here, doc. So I went in, I talked to her, and I said, did anyone ever talk about fixing your digestive system? And she said, no. They've given me a lot of medications, and I've taken cortisone, and it's destroyed her bones, and now she's got bone loss, and her immune system's weak. And I said, how old are you? She goes, 39. Oh, three joint replacements ready, 2 hips and a knee. And I said, 39. And I wanted to go, oh, my God, but I didn't. I kept my cool. And so what we need to do then is work on a case like that and try to get them as well as we possibly can. And that's going to be the goal with you as well, is try to get you as well as you possibly can and get to the cause of the problem, not just treat the symptoms. What else, John?
Is microplastics the 8th deadly sin?
Okay, I'll give you that. I always used to say 7 deadly sins. If you smoke, you can ignore everything else I'm going to say because it doesn't really matter at that point. Yeah. But the digestive system, go to my website, drjoe.com, type digestion in the search bar, listen to the show we did on digestion. Let's try to get to the cause of it. What else?
Is homocysteine often a driver of high blood pressure?
Homocysteine can irritate the artery walls, which can cause them to contract, which can then raise the blood pressure. So it's not it's an indirect driver. I'm not going to say direct driver, it's an indirect driver. But yes, I'll give you a yes on that one.
Are pasture-raised eggs the best choice?
No. Organic eggs. If you're going to eat eggs, they got to be organic. Not pasture-raised. Organic is the only word that matters. So if you're going to eat them, that's what I would eat, but I don't eat them. So what else?
What is the best way to get electrolytes? All I drink is water, and I know there's several products on the shelves in stores.
Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Yeah, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and fruits and vegetables are going to give you electrolytes, but take your Essential Source every day. You should get plenty of electrolytes.
Does aspirin unclog arteries?
Aspirin can help thin your blood, but it doesn't really unclog the arteries. you have to take B6 to help neutralize the homocysteine, which could then hopefully prevent that from sticking to the artery walls. And then you can do other things as well. Nattokinase is another supplement. We don't have that one, but you can take a nattokinase supplement to help break up the plaque. But really changing your diet, the body's self-cleaning. If you change your diet, chances are it's going to start cleaning itself out. So.
That is all.
That's enough? Okay, good. A lot of good questions today. You guys are right on today. Ready for round two? Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito. If you stayed with me, thank you. If you just joined us, welcome. We're talking today about nutrients that your body needs as you age, because our body changes as we age. But also, if we were 100 years ago, the nutrient levels in the food was a lot different than it is now. And so in today's modern society, with soil depletion, with steroids, chemicals, hormones, antibiotics, genetically modified food, glyphosate, picking fruits when they're not ripe and shipping them, spraying them with gases so that they ripen properly. Well, they look like they ripen properly. There's a lot of things that are different. 100 years ago, we picked a tomato, we ate it. We picked an apple, we ate it. Had a worm in it, good. It was healthy enough for the worm. Means it was healthy enough for you. I remember being a kid, and I lived in Hoboken, New Jersey, and they had what was called the peddler, and he came around with a truck, and on the back of the truck was like a slope, and he had all these cases of fruits and vegetables. And what do you need? All right, I'll give you corn. And he'd throw it on the scale, and a pound and a half, 2 pounds, whatever it was. It was very, very loose, very simple. And whenever we bought corn, we always peeled down a little bit to see if there were worms in it. If there were worms in it, my mother said, oh, we don't want to eat those. Mom, I'm sorry, you were wrong. If it was good enough for the worms, that means it was a good piece of fruit, a good piece of corn. Now, when was the last time you saw a worm in a piece of corn? Never, I'm going to venture. Why? It's genetically modified. It's sprayed. It's processed. So there's nothing wrong with a worm in an apple because that means the apple's healthy. And so the food has changed dramatically since we were born. I guess since I was born, certainly. So I always say this, if your grandmother could have eaten it, you can eat it. Just that simple. Grandma didn't eat a 16-ounce porterhouse steak with a baked potato, sour cream, and butter with cheese on top of it. No. If she ate meat, it was a little piece of meat. Condiment. It was a side dish. It wasn't a main course. A lot of times I get invited out to dinner, and people want to impress me, and they'll take me to a steakhouse. And I laugh. I said, if you knew me, I'd rather do strip mall Chinese than steakhouse. But I'll order the potato, and I'll order the broccoli, and I have a meeting, in fact, this week, and it's going to be at a steakhouse. Why? Because the person who wants to meet with me said, oh, that's one of my favorite places. Okay. So I'm going to get the baked potato, the sour, what is it at this one steakhouse? Sweet potato, broccoli, and mushrooms is what I'm going to have. My meal is going to be a fraction of their meal, by the way, cost-wise, too. So, yeah, I think it's kind of silly. We're spending so much money to kill ourselves. You could save a hell of a lot of money and not kill yourself. It's a lot easier that way. So we're talking today, back to my point, nutrients that your body needs. And again, the nutritional value of food is very different than it was even when you were a kid. Magnesium is a big one. Many people are deficient in magnesium. Helps your body make protein, helps your body make bones, keeps your blood sugar stable, and you can get it from things like nuts, seeds, green leafy vegetables. So what if, for lunch every day or dinner, I have a salad with maybe some almonds or some sunflower seeds on it, maybe some chickpeas in there to make it heavy and thick, maybe some beans, cannellini beans if you want to, I'm Italian, and I add some apple cider vinegar to it. Vinegar helps stabilize your blood sugar, and apple cider vinegar has probiotics in it as well. And I just made a salad for maybe $2 or $3. Or I can go out for a steak lunch. It's cheap, it's lunch menu, it's only going to be $14. And I don't have to drive to the restaurant, don't have to leave a tip, don't have to pay taxes. I'm going to save so much money. It's going to give me the magnesium that I need and a lot of other nutrients as well. I'm going to feel great. I'm going to feel lighter. I remember years ago I was giving a lecture, and one of my staff members at the time, we were talking about hunger, and she said something that was so profound to me. She said, it's okay to be hungry. What a concept. It's okay to be hungry. Nothing wrong with having a little hunger pang. You're not going to die from it. Got a little hunger. Okay, great. I'll go to bed. I'll wake up tomorrow and eat. I don't need a midnight snack. So it's okay to be hungry. But green leafy vegetables, if you have a salad once a day, you're going to save so much money. Organic chickpeas, buy a can of it, cost you $1.50 maybe for a can of chickpeas. Throw in some nuts and seeds. The vinegar stabilizes your blood sugar so you don't have the highs and the lows. What's wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. So when it comes to magnesium, beans, greens, tofu, almonds, bananas, seeds, avocados, quinoa, lentils, broccoli, all the things I've been telling you should be eaten anyway. So yes, I take supplements every day, but I get a lot of my nutrients from my food as well. And once you start having a salad a day or even a salad every other day, you can be amazed how much better you feel. And here's my challenge to you. Have a salad for lunch. See how you feel that night. Have pizza, have a hamburger, have a steak for lunch. See how you feel that night. If I'm right, do what I say. If I'm wrong, so what? You had a salad for lunch one day. That was it. So how can I make it easier? The challenge is you're going to save money, feel better, probably lose weight, go to the bathroom better, improve your love life, sleep better. Why wouldn't you do it? No reason not to, right? And again, you could buy an organic salad in a bag, in single serving, put it in a bowl, add your apple cider vinegar, extra virgin organic olive oil, air-dried sea salt or Celtic salt, or a Baja Gold salt, a little bit of black pepper if you'd like to. If you're not going to be kissing anybody, a little bit of garlic, and have that for lunch. Watch what happens. You're going to thank me for this. So magnesium is important, but if you're eating a good diet, you're going to get a lot of magnesium. Probiotics is a big one. That's another nutrient that most people don't even think about as a supplement. But probiotics are good bacteria. In your colon, you have over 100 different types of bacteria. You also have yeast. You have other things too. But the good bacteria help you digest food. Here's the thing. This can be a shocker. You don't digest food. You break it down to a point where the bacteria can eat it, spit out what they don't like, and then you absorb what they spit out. That's a simplified version, I know. But that's how bacteria work. And most of us are killing off the bacteria in our colon with things like fluorinated water, chlorinated water, steroids, chemicals, hormones that we're putting in the food. Glyphosate, weed killer, acts as an antibiotic and kills off the bacteria. Antibiotics themselves can kill off the bacteria in your colon. So we want to keep that good bacteria healthy because that really is the source of all health. I want to say Hippocrates said, look to the digestive system for the cause of all disease. Well, he said, look to the spine for the cause of all disease. But I can't remember the quote now, but disease starts in the digestive system. And if you have a good, healthy digestive system, your brain works better, your circulation works better, you reduce the risk of heart disease, diabetes, cancer. I mean, there's such a connection between that bacteria and every part of your body. So I take a probiotic. It's on the website, drjoe.com. I take Dr. Joe's probiotics every day. There are probiotics and prebiotics in the essential source. Prebiotics feed the good bacteria. So the probiotics are the good bacteria. Prebiotics are the food for the bacteria. We talked a couple of weeks ago about doing something called a resistant starch. If you make potatoes, if you make pasta, if you make quinoa, any type of grain, you want to cook it, put it in the refrigerator overnight, eat it the next day or day afterwards. And when you cook it and cool it, you change the molecular structure and you create something called a prebiotic. And prebiotics feed the bacteria in your colon, and you absorb about 40% less carbohydrates. So you're absorbing less carbohydrates, getting a prebiotic. It's much better for you. So cook it, cool it, eat it the next day. You'll thank me for that one, by the way. So I take a probiotic supplement in addition to Essential Source, which has pro and prebiotics in it. And I eat a good diet, which has pro and prebiotics in it as well. And then if I do cook something that is a starch, I'll cool it overnight and eat it the next day. Even soups work that way. You want to make a lentil soup, a split pea soup, cook it, cool it, eat it the next day. Amazing. Simple, easy, inexpensive things that you can do to keep your body healthy. Omega-3 fatty acids, these are called essential fatty acids. They're essential because you have to get them from an outside source. It's essential that you get them from an outside source because we can't make them. There's things called essential amino acids. Why? Because our body can't make them from other ingredients. You have to get them from an outside source. But omega-3 fatty acids, they're important for your eyes, your brain, sperm cells, reproduction. They also help protect against age-related diseases like Alzheimer's, arthritis, macular degeneration. And macular degeneration can cause blindness. I have macular degeneration. I have something called drusen, which would have turned into macular degeneration most likely. So generally speaking, I have macular degeneration. I was told probably 15 years ago now, doctor said you have drusen. It's not good. It's probably going to get worse, and you may even go blind from it. Bad news. I said, what do I do about it? He said, I don't know. You can take zeaxanthin, lutein, those supplements. Maybe that might help, but pretty much there's not much that can be done for it. So I'm Dr. Joe, and I said, that's not acceptable. And so I put together a lot of the supplements I take now, the Super Greens, the Essential Source, the nitric oxide to increase circulation of the omega-3 fatty acids. And every time I go to the doctor now, it gets better and better and better. If you go to my website, drjoe.com, type in macular degeneration, and you'll see pictures of my eyes on the website. And each year or 2 years getting better and better and better. It seems to have plateaued now. I went to the eye doctor just a couple weeks ago, and she said it looks similar to the last one. She goes, but it's amazing it hasn't gotten worse. She goes, I want to send all my patients to you to have macular degeneration. And a lot of eye doctors do send their patients to us. So I'm not saying I have a cure for macular degeneration. I'm saying we have a protocol that might be helpful. But the omega-3 fatty acids are so important for health. Now, there's three main sources that you think about, most people think about when you think about omega-3 fatty acid supplements. Fish oil. Fish oil, high in omega-3s. Absolutely. Cons, pro, high in omega-3. Con. Many times it goes rancid. Many times, always, it's not in what's called the phospholipid form. Phospholipid is the form that we need to utilize as humans. We absorb the phospholipid form. So the fish oil has to be converted into the phospholipid form. And you run the risk of mercury toxicity because a lot of fish has mercury in it. And so there are some versions of it where they filter out the mercury, but why have mercury in it to begin with is my approach. And it's not in a phospholipid form, and it can go rancid. So krill oil is another one, Krill. Krill oil is a good choice. Krill oil is already in a phospholipid form. Krill are very tiny, look like shrimp, little tiny shrimp, so they don't live a long time, so they don't absorb mercury, so that's taken off the list. So krill oil, much better choice. But here's the thing, krill and fish don't make omega-3 fatty acids. They get it from eating algae. Algae is the purest form of omega-3s. That's the kind I take every day. And on the website, drjoe.com, you'll see Dr. Joe's Vegan Omega-3. I take it every day. The bottle says take one a day. I take 2 a day because I have a special case. I have drusen. And so I make sure that I take my omega, I take double that. I take a gram, essentially, is what it is a day, a little over a gram. And that helps with inflammation, brain function. It does so many different things. And what's it? It's essential. You have to get it from an outside source. So omega-3 fatty acids I take every day. You should too. You should take Super Greens. You should take Essential Source, vitamin D3, B complex, omega-3 fatty acids. If you have normal or high blood pressure, nitric oxide. If you have low blood pressure, email me through the website, drjoe.com. I'll send you the protocol we have for people with low blood pressure and nitric oxide. I take men's hormone support. I take adrenal support because my adrenal glands produce energy, hormone levels, and inflammation. And I want to make sure the adrenals are working the best they can because as I get older, my adrenal glands get weaker. And stress does it too. How many people have stress in their lives? Anybody? I bet you do. Whether it's emotional, physical, financial, relationship, aging, kids, not kids. Stress. A little stress is okay, but too much stress on the adrenal glands can really blow them out. We use that term affectionately. And so you want to make sure that the adrenal glands are taken care of. So if you have any questions, send them to me through the website, drjoe.com, and I'll answer them if I have an answer for you. Usually I do. Make sure you follow me on social media, Dr. Joe Esposito. Facebook is the Dr. Joe Esposito. And I want you to follow me on podcasts. The podcasts are great. They're little 24-minute segments, and it's Dr. Joe for the health of it. Dr. Joe for the health of it. I love podcasts. I learned so much from podcasts, and you should too. I mean, I like listening to the radio. Of course, that's my favorite thing to do, but maybe there's a time where I'm not near a radio. You could always listen to a podcast. Dr. Joe for the health of it. But the best thing you can do, if you came to me right now, you're probably asking yourself, Dr. Joe, what's the best thing I can do for my health? Best thing you can do is make an appointment to come see us. In the Atlanta area, we have 4 offices, Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. Go to my website, drjoe.com. You can book an appointment right online. Normally, the first visit is $940. I've reduced that for you, my listeners, to $299. And I do that because I don't know what treatment you need. How much is this going to cost? I don't know. What do I need? It's like call up the mechanic and say, hey, my car's making noise. What's it going to cost to fix it? I don't know. Got to bring it in. Got to lift up the hood. Got to take a look. So we do an exam, x-rays, consultation, and first treatment on the first visit. We go over the x-rays and go over nutrition protocol on the second visit. We do a nutrition update. We do that so, okay, now we have a working idea of what direction to go in. What's going to be best for you? Is it chiropractic care? I don't know. Is it orthopedic care? I don't know. Neurology, neurosurgeon, physical therapy. Do you need injections? Do you need acoustic wave therapy? Do you need laser? Do you need PRP? I don't know. Let's find out. And let's put together the best protocol for you. Put the bones back in place. Fix the digestive system. Get you on a good diet. Use acoustic wave if there's joint degeneration. Let's use cold laser. There's so many different protocols for cold laser. Let's see what supplements are going to be best for you. At least Super Greens and Essential Source, B complex, and vitamin D. Please, at least that. Nitric oxide to increase circulation. Not just for energy. It gives you a lot of energy. That's a side effect. I'm always looking for the best supplements. We have a chewable supplement coming out. It's going to be an energy supplement with ginseng and nitric oxide in it. And the samples have just gone crazy. I brought them to people at the radio station. I brought them to my staff. Everyone loves them. I love them. And they taste good, too. Those will be out in a couple of weeks. We're going to have flavored Super Greens and flavored Essential Source coming out very soon. Because some people take it for years. They want they shake it up a little bit. We're going to have mango and berry flavor. I'm always looking to make it better for you. But you know what? I'm also looking to make it better for me. I'll be honest with you. I want the best protocol there is because I'm a patient too. I ain't getting any younger. I got to do everything I can to stay as healthy as I can so that I can help you guys get better. 40 years of doing this. I wake up every morning more excited than I was the day before. And health is an amazing thing. When you have your health, it's kind of cool. If you have 100 different problems, financial, romantic, whatever it is, car breaks down, kicking you out of your house, you didn't pay your rent, the roof is leaking, kids are crying, and then you get a diagnosis of a serious health condition. How many of those problems matter anymore? Not very many. They kind of drop down. What's the one thing that matters? That serious health condition diagnosis. So why don't we try to get to that and fix it, A, before it breaks, and if it is there, what can we do within our powers to do everything we can? Can't guarantee we're going to fix anything. So go to the website, drjoe.com, book your appointment. We accept almost all insurances, car accidents, sports injuries. If you ever get a call, by the way, if you ever have a car accident, somebody calls you and says, go see this doctor or lawyer, it's a scam. It's a felony, by the way, too. There's a bill on the governor's desk right now trying to reform all that. But the scammers are out of control. And I want you to not fall for the scam because I've never seen anyone get the proper legal representation or the right health care. I was talking to a patient this week. And he said, Dr. Joe, he says, what have you done? I said, what do you mean? He goes, I have been to so many different doctors in my life. Every one of your doctors is the best I've ever been to. I said, it took me 40 years to assemble this team. He says, I can tell that you've done a lot of work because these are the best doctors I've ever seen. It doesn't matter which one it is. So if you agree with their opinion, I do, make your appointment, drjoe.com. All right, let's talk about some more supplements that you need as you get older. Zinc. Most Americans don't get enough zinc, and it's what we call the underappreciated. It's a redheaded stepchild. It's underappreciated. It helps your sense of smell and taste. It fights infections and inflammation. We got a lot of people on zinc supplements when COVID came and people lost their sense of smell. It helped a lot of them. Zinc also helps protect your vision. And one of the things you can do is you can eat oysters. Great source of zinc. It's horrible for you, though. Oysters are bottom dwellers. They filters. They clean things out. When Moses wrote Leviticus thousands of years ago, Moses said, don't eat oysters. Don't eat the bottom dwellers. Fish had to have scales and fins and swim. And those were the cleanest fish. That still holds true today. I don't want you eating oysters, clams. I mean, they have mercury and lead, and they filter garbage and fecal matter, and just stay away from the shellfish. So where else can we get it? Nuts, seeds, legumes, mushrooms, tofu, oats, lentils, chickpeas, hummus. Have hummus for lunch. One of my favorite things to do, and I love this, is I'll make hummus. It takes about 10 minutes to make. Organic chickpeas, organic tahini. If you want to throw some olive oil in there, great. Lemon juice, salt, maybe some cumin if you want to get nuts. You can throw olives in if you want to. Put it in a food processor, whip it up. Get romaine lettuce, the big leaves. Lay it in there and just eat it that way. Because the romaine lettuce is crisp and cool and fresh, and the hummus is in there. You can do red pepper hummus, spicy hummus, whatever you like. And it's just a quick, easy, inexpensive, just thinking about it, it's one of my favorite foods. The first book I ever wrote is called Eating Right for the Health of It. And every week or so, I get a call from somebody, and they say, hey, Doc, this week I think they tried the black bean soup. They said, oh, my God, it's the best soup I ever had. So I have over 200 recipes in my book, and it's on the website, drjoe.com. We can actually send you a hard copy book, if you know what that is. If you'd like, I mean, you got to get it from the website and order it. But we also have it on as a PDF as well. So there's over 200 recipes. Try them all. Check off the ones you like, cross off the ones you don't like. That should keep you busy for a while, shouldn't it? 200 recipes? And it's so much less expensive than anything else you're doing right now. Selenium is so important as well. It helps with dementia, certain types of cancer, thyroid disease. 2 Brazil nuts a day, going to give you enough selenium. You could also get it from cruciferous vegetables, nutritional yeast, which I like using, sunflower seeds, tofu, mushrooms. What are you seeing the pattern here? The pattern is the same foods I've been telling you to eat for 40 years are giving you the vital nutrients that you need. Potassium, potatoes, avocados, lentils, sweet potatoes, green leafy vegetables. It's good for your heart, your kidneys, your nerves. It helps prevent stroke, high blood pressure, osteoporosis. Why wouldn't you do that? Folate. This is important. I'm glad I got to this before I ran out of time. There's folate and there's folic acid. Folic acid is the synthetic version of folate. And the body has to convert folic acid into folate. And depending on the study, you read 40 to 80% of the people in the country can't convert or methylate folic acid into folate. And so why not just eat folate? It can help with birth defects. It's also vitamin B9. It helps cells grow. They protect against stroke, certain types of cancer. Most people don't get enough. Folate in foods is safe. Folic acid, too much of it can cause problems. So when you're eating these fortified foods, and they're fortified with the not good version of things like cyanocobalamin, folic acid, that fortification can actually be bad for you. So I understand the concept, fortify the foods, give everybody enough nutrients. I get that, but it's got to be the right type of nutrients. And methylation, by the way, also helps detoxify the body, pull waste products out of the body. So it's really important. So that's why we use folate in Dr. Joe's Essential Source and in Dr. Joe's B-Complex. And again, you're peeing out most of your B vitamins except B12 every day. You need to replace them. Not all of them, but many of them. And the one, we don't think about this one as a nutrient really, but fiber. It's so important as you age. Fiber protects against strokes. It helps you go to the bathroom more regularly. It lowers your cholesterol, lowers your blood sugar. Women over 40 should get about 21 grams a day. Men need about 30 grams. Most people get about 15 grams. I think those numbers are extremely low. I think you should double those numbers. So you got to eat more fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, get your fiber. It doesn't work if you're taking a fiber supplement. If you're taking these powders that you mix up at the grocery store with artificial sweeteners and chemicals in them, doesn't work as well. You got to get the fiber. Because what happens is when you eat fiber and drink water, the fiber expands in your colon. And your colon has something called stretch receptors. So as the colon gets filled up with food, the stretch receptors get activated and contract the colon. That causes you to go to the bathroom. So that's why fiber works, and you got to have the water to go with it, because the water is going to kind of swell the fiber up. So that's where fruits and vegetables are so important. So whether it's vitamins, minerals, fiber, it's best to get it from quality supplements, and that's the key, is quality, and then your foods as well. The challenge for a lot of people, especially older Americans, they don't eat a balanced diet. Maybe they're in a senior housing. They're not eating the foods that they need to. That's why it's vital to get the supplements, Super Greens, Essential Source, nitric oxide, B-Complex, vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids. It's still cheaper than a cup of coffee, fancy coffee, not the cheap coffee, but the regular coffees. All right, folks, I'm almost out of time. If you have any questions, send it to me through my website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. Make an appointment to come see us. Imagine what would it be like if you were healthy. drjoe.com, book your appointment right now. Follow me on social media, Dr. Joe Esposito, Facebook, The Dr. Joe Esposito. And if you like podcasts, which you should, Dr. Joe for the health of it. Dr. Joe for the health of it. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Thanks so much. Got through 3 pages of my 14 pages of notes. What do you got for me, John?
What does it mean if a test shows absolutely 0 levels of B6?
You got a problem. You're probably not certain. You have some in your cells, but that's very dangerous. So you want to get on supplements right away, like yesterday. Dr. Joe's B-Complex and Essential Source minimum, but I would add the Super Greens and the other ones as well. But you got to get on that right away. B6 is really important for the nervous system. And it also helps lower your homocysteine, and homocysteine scratches your artery walls and causes cholesterol to stick to your artery walls. So Yeah, you got to get on. Order it now. Come by the offices and pick it up if I was that low. So, what else?
How do you cook quinoa?
1 cup quinoa, 2 cups water. Bring it to a slow boil. Cover it up. Once it dries up, shut the heat off. Let it sit there for a few minutes, and you got quinoa. Now you can add things like tamari. You can add vegan bouillon cubes to it. That's a meal in itself. You could add, if you want to go Asian, you could add some ginger to it if you want to, give it an Asian flair. Some sesame oil if you want to give it that. You can use it instead of rice. You can put it in soups. It's great. Very high in protein, very low in calories. Put it in a refrigerator overnight, make a resistant starch. I love quinoa. I'll have quinoa as a meal sometimes. You can throw in some stir-fried veggies if you want to. It's really good. So, what else?
Should soybean oil-based salad dressings be avoided?
Yes. Yeah, soybean is omega-6 fatty acids. Most of it's genetically modified. Yeah, absolutely stay away from soybean. It's what we call a seed oil. And we did a show on that a while ago. What else?
Can you eat black beans with an avocado every day?
Sure. A lot of cultures do. Go to Mexico, they're eating black beans and avocados every day. Central America, yeah, absolutely. Be good for you. What else?
Is fried rice high in saturated fat and cholesterol?
It depends what you fry it in. You can only get cholesterol from animal products. You can't get cholesterol from avocados or olive oil, no. If you're frying it with beef lard, yeah, you're going to get cholesterol. Coconut oil is a saturated fat, but it's a different type of saturated fat than steak, let's say. So saturated fats maybe, and you should cook it with coconut oil, by the way, but you use a little bit and you'll be fine. And it's got to be organic rice from California because other rices are high in arsenic. So organic rice from California is the lowest amount of arsenic in it. So that's what I want you to eat.
That is all.
Awesome, guys. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Send me questions through the website. Just come see us, drjoe.com.